Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and this is day 4 of Revenge Week. Today we're doing r/ProRevenge. So you're probably going to be a craftier person after watching this video. Wiggity wiggity whack, boss won't pay me back. Bippity boppity boo, ended his job and marriage too. I'm sorry this is such a long post, TLDR at the end. When I was in college I had a minimum wage job in a bargain retail store. I worked in the warehouse around a lot of older guys and the job required heavy lifting, usually 75 to 250 pounds of pallets and boxes. I started off working in the warehouse and it motivated me to start lifting weights seriously. I lost 25 or 26 pounds over the course of my first 6 months there by working out solo at the campus gym. However, most of my co-workers were older guys. I was 23 or 24 at the time, but whom I had very little in common. I rarely talked to anyone else, but I did want to be seen as one of the cool guys. So it was strange but an honour when a manager of the fleet of delivery trucks, we'll call him Victor, approached me at work one day and started conversing with me. Victor was older, 45 I think, but he was well respected by everyone in the warehouse. He dressed well and seemed pretty fit. In the course of the conversation, we discussed lifting weights together and he invited me over to his home gym one day. We exchanged phone numbers and agreed to lift together on a Friday when his wife, we'll call her Nora, was at work. I showed up at his house with one of my favourite t-shirts on and Victor was shirtless. He suggested that I lift with no shirt too. I felt uneasy about it and said no. Victor snatched my shirt by the left sleeve and pulled it until it ripped. He apologised, promised to buy another shirt for me, but I had to lift with no shirt on. We worked chest and triceps, but throughout the lift I felt uncomfortable. Victor kept touching my chest and my stomach. He said it was to focus. I kept pushing it to the back of my head, but I did decline to go inside Victor's house. I left my ripped shirt at his house in the garage where his weight set was located. Over the next few days, the awkwardness increased. Victor asked during phone calls if I had a girlfriend, if I was having sex regularly, if I watched porn. He ran into me in the bathroom at work during my lunch break and would always sit close to me just to talk about really personal stuff. I learned that his wife was a pastor at a prominent church, that she made more money than Victor, and that Nora did not believe in sex outside of procreation. When I asked about my shirt being replaced, Victor always said he had money problems. I ended up replacing the shirt myself later. Victor invited me over again to work out with him. I wore a tank top that time. Victor asked me to take it off. I did, and during the workout mentioned that he was behind in his electric bill. He asked to borrow $40 and said that he and his wife were having a rough patch so he couldn't borrow from her. Like a gullible idiot, I went to the nearest bank, withdrew the money and put $40 in Victor's hand after the workout. He promised to pay me back at payday. Payday came and went, but Victor's presence did not. I received late night after 10 PM phone calls from Victor. When I answered, he would sound drunk and talked endlessly, occasionally talking about my body. I stopped answering his calls and got voicemails from him, also sounding drunk, asking me to call him back. When I confronted Victor at work to stop calling me and to pay me back 2 days after payday, he told me he would pay me back next payday and that he just really needed a friend to talk to. I felt badly, agreed to wait, but also made up an excuse of how I couldn't lift weights with him. He didn't pay me back the following payday either. But Victor did send me a thread of pictures with his shirt off, in his underwear, and nude, all within the week of payday. When that third payday came, Victor avoided me at work. The revenge. Infuriated with his harassment and not being paid, I went on Facebook the day after payday and found Victor's wife's Facebook page and her church's Facebook page. I created a Gmail account with Victor's full name, then created a Facebook page with his first name and last initial, and uploaded all of the photos he had sent me. Then I friended his wife and the church's Facebook pages, set all the settings to friends only level privacy, and logged out. That same night, I called their company's ethics hotline and left a voicemail tip. Mr. Victor Fries is drinking very heavily and making lewd comments to co-workers and customers. Please look into this. Within a week, Victor was fired. Not only had he been drinking on the job and sometimes come to work hungover, he had been using corporate gas cards to fuel his and his wife's vehicles. He was arrested during his shift and several employees saw him walked out in handcuffs. I unfortunately didn't. Victor called me, drunk again, from his hotel room after his wife kicked him out of their house. Not satisfied with this level of revenge, I recorded Victor's voicemails in a handheld recorder I had bought for my college classes. I mailed the recorder using Victor's home address as the return address to his wife's church and marked it, "Attention Nora Fries, please play." Then I changed phone numbers. I haven't heard from Victor in years, but his firing was the talk of the store 4 months. TLDR, he owed me money and tried to make me his honey. He got very rough and did a bad touch, so I ruined his life. Was it funny? Don't like homeless people in your fast food restaurant? Let's send a few hundred. So a bit after college, I took a part-time volunteer position at a community shelter helping the area's homeless. I was a caseworker. Basically, we met with everyone once a week and make sure they're doing what they need to do. Job, interviews, saving money because the ultimate goal is to get them into their own place. My job was to make sure they had everything they needed. Bus passes, help with resumes, teach them about bank accounts, help them open one if they found a job, etc. Work with local salons to get them free haircuts for work. Really cool local community shelter that wasn't just a place to sleep each night if they got in. We helped with everything and had a computer lab and classes for resumes and interviews. So I'm the point of contact for kind of all their issues. I'm not a therapist, but they opened up to me a lot and asked for help or what I could do to help them, and that was my job, connecting them with people or resources they needed. Over the course of about a month, I keep hearing the local McDonald's down the road like half a block away is routinely asking people in my caseload to leave, not come back. They don't need homeless people begging here. I was pretty shocked, and we provide everything. It might not be the best food, but we make sure they eat 3 solid meals a day. It really messes with them for a place to discriminate against them, and I definitely wasn't happy. I go down to talk to the local manager, and sure enough, she doesn't want them in there. Not because they don't buy stuff, they definitely do, but she just seems to not like homeless people. Well, my position has me reach out to corporations, local businesses and such to seek donations of services or goods to help these people, so I went ahead and reached out to McDonald's corporate. I outlined what we do, gave them numbers, and we actually really do manage to help the majority of people that stay in our shelter obtain employment and an apartment. I told them a lot of people that go out for interviews don't manage to make it back for mealtimes, and if they would be ever so willing to help us by providing vouchers or something to get these people a meal while they're out, it would help a lot. McDonald's corporate and the PR person I began working with really liked this idea and wanted to help us, so they sent us a ton of never expiring coupons. They wanted me to provide other shelters information so they could reach out and help there also. When I say they sent a lot, I mean a few thousand coupons. More than we could reasonably use in 2 to 3 years, and I was told when we need more, just shoot them an email or a phone call. So what did I do? Began giving coupons out with bus passes to people going for haircuts, interviews, work, everything. I sent more people to that McDonald's than ever went there before. She continued to be fairly rude to everyone and scrutinised the coupons to the point she turned a few away. Big mistake, lady. I called my corporate PR contact and told him the program is working great, but the manager is discriminating against the homeless who have a valid coupon. One thing large corporations hate is when local managers go on power trips and get in the way of their efforts to help people, especially when it's great PR and almost costs them nothing. I was called back the next day to be told that no one would be bothered by her again, and her views did not align with those of corporate, and they apologised even more. And guess what? Sent us out even better coupons for better meals. Never did hear from anyone I was working with again about her. No idea where she went or what the local franchise did with her. The way that this is written is really funny because I'm assuming the PR rep meant, okay, she's been fired, but the way that it's written is that no one would be bothered by her again. It's like they've taken her round the back and just shot her, like you don't mess with the McDonald's. You want to be rude and racist to people that's trying to help you? Now you can enjoy having half a roof over your head. I own a small home improvement company. I do alright for myself, but for some reason my family thinks I'm rich. They don't realise that I'm saving money for all 4 of my kids to go to college, and I have 12 employees to take care of. All of my money is tied up. The roof on my aunt's house was in deplorable condition. Last July, my grandmother talked me into fixing it for free. It wasn't an easy job either. It's a 12 by 12 pitch, 3 layers thick, with cedar shake on the bottom. Normally I would charge $15,000 for this type of job, but I let my grandmother talk me into it. I asked my employees to volunteer their only day off that week. To my surprise, all 10 of my labourers decided to show up. They all refused to clock in. They told me my family is their family, and for family they only charge cerveza, beer. Honestly, I was humbled by their generosity. As soon as we get to my aunt's house, we start setting up, and my guys started playing the radio. They were listening to some very Mexican music. Then my trashy ass cousin decided she was going to go outside and start yelling at these guys about the music and had them turn it off. About an hour later, my cousin came outside again to tell these guys to put their shirts on because she felt like it was inappropriate for her 8-year-old daughter to see a man working with his shirt off. After the tear-off was done and we installed a new roof deck, I went out and got a couple of buckets of chicken and a few cases of beer. Everyone was standing in the yard eating chicken and drinking beer, talking and joking around and having a good time. Then my cousin decided to come out again. This time she's complaining about everyone drinking on the job. This time I pulled her to the side and reminded her that these guys are doing a $15,000 job for free. I flat out told her she needs to shut the F up and get back in the house. That's when she decided to slap me across my face. Right away I called the police and had her arrested. After the police drove off with her in handcuffs, my aunt completely lost her crap. She started screaming at me and then threatened to call ICE on my employees. She told me I should be ashamed of myself for not hiring legal American citizens. I told my crew to pack up their crap and hit the road. They're nicer than me because they went up and tarped the roof off before they left. About 2 days later, I sent my aunt a text message stating that I expected a sincere, well-written apology letter for all of my employees if she wanted her roof finished. About a week later, I was served a subpoena by the police. My aunt was suing me for damages. I explained the whole situation to the judge and showed her the message that I had sent my aunt requesting a simple apology letter, to which the judge fully agreed on my behalf. My aunt was ordered by the court to write 10 sincere apology letters to my employees before I finish her roof. She still hasn't wrote those letters, and she still doesn't have a roof. Edit. I believe the only reason she hasn't wrote those letters yet is because that tarp is still holding up. My guys are professionals. We'll see what happens after a couple of spring thunderstorms. I didn't know that people this ungrateful existed. Like getting your roof done for free and then having the gall to go out and shout at people who are working for you for free. Tear down our fence? Okay, game on. Back when I was younger, maybe 10ish, we lived in the backwoods of Texas along a sort of highway that connected our town to commerce. We lived next to a very grumpy old woman who owned 2 very beautiful boxers. She would let these big dogs out when I and my 5-year-old brother were on the back porch, meaning my protective father brought us inside because the dogs often got through our fence and he wasn't risking us getting hurt. About 2 years before we leave said house, she gets her son to tear down a fence that was a foot onto our land because her yard isn't big enough for her dogs. She had apparently sold most of her acre of land to the neighbours on her other side, and that we were harassing her by keeping her dogs out of our yard where they like to play. So, here's the revenge. My dad, who is very well known around town due to his job and being a great person all round, called animal control, specifically a buddy of his who worked in it. They went to the old lady's house, asked for her permit because we were still technically in a country that forbade owning a boxer, pit, etc. without permission. She didn't have any. So, animal control immediately took the good boys away. Turns out they were also starving and sick. Instead of putting them down, my dad struck a deal with the pound, let him pay for treatment, drops in the bucket to be honest, and get a certification for our house to own them. Within a month, those 2 doggos were back in our yard with the biggest smiles. Turns out once you feed a good dog, they stop growling and looking at you like a 4-course meal. They refused to go near her yard. They would even go full guard doggo when she stepped on our land. So Dad built a fence again, this time wrought iron with spikes on top. And when her idiot son once again was told to remove them, he was promptly removed at dog point from her property. Eventually gave the dogs to a family member in a different state because we moved and couldn't take them with us. But we visited often. Wish I could find photos, but we had a house fire about 7 years ago and it pretty much wiped out all our old stuff. TLDR. Mean old lady destroys our property. We get her abused and neglected dogs taken away and given to a good home. Ours. Send money to claim an inheritance? You got it. Been told to post this here. Okay, so all of you have probably experienced the classic Nigerian prince inheritance scam. This is where you will usually be asked to send money, usually described as a fee, to be able to claim an even bigger sum of money. One day, I decided to have some revenge when I received one of these calls. The scammer was giving a spiel about how a long-lost relative of mine had died and I was the one to inherit the millions that was left solely to me. Playing along, I acted very excited and asked what needed to be done on my end. He said his legal firm needed a payment of £5,000 in order for the relevant paperwork to be processed. This is where I had a bright idea. I said to him that I didn't have £5,000 in cash on hand, but I do, however, have a load of new electronics coming from my business that I could send to be sold. He jumped at the opportunity. So I went into my shed and started wrapping up a broken washing machine I had. I had also filled the drum with multiple yellow pages to give it even more weight. When I organised a special courier to come pick up the massive parcel, I said that the delivery fee would be paid in full at the other end. With the delivery fee totalling over £500, I paid a small deposit and off the package went. A few weeks later I got confirmation that the parcel had been picked up and the full invoice paid on collection. I wish I could have seen the scammer's face when he opened it. Okay, so that's all for r/ProRevenge. I really hope you enjoyed day 4 of Revenge Week and you stick around as it's only gonna get better. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!